Hello everyone. Just to do a quick recap, you have two things due this week. You have your rough draft and you also have a journal. Both of those things are due to me by Friday at 6 p.m. Okay, this Friday. That's like the 20 something. I don't know. 24th. It's the 24th. So I need your rough draft of this research essay and the journal in my email by 6 p.m. on Friday. So the journal, if you'll remember, is you're just talking about your grade. You tell me what your grade is, what you think you could have done better, what you think you're doing well, whether or not you're happy with your grade, so on and so forth. Journals, always 21 lines. Type it, send it to me in my email, and I'll get it looked at. So let's talk about your research essay. So this was already in week 12, and I showed you how to use this research tips in the last video, so I'm not going to go back over that. This is the assignment sheet. I went over that in the last video. I'm not going to go back over that, but I am going to go over these two new documents. This all about sources and the research essay outline. Both of these are important because they tell you how I want this essay done, and they answer some really common questions. So let's make that small first. So here's the sources. So what makes a good source? So the thing about sources is I showed you that those websites that you can use, the databases in here, you can use the opposing viewpoints and you can use ProQuest. You can also use good old Google. So if you want to just Google it, prowl around on there some, you can do that. I really recommend using these as well because these are really good sources, but in case you want to Google it or if you're looking for a book. So good sources usually come from a .org, a .edu, or a .gov. If the source is a .com, make sure it's reputable, because .com means that it's .commercial, so you pay to be on that website. You make sure a source is reputable by checking out who the author is. If the author is extremely biased, this source may not be a great source to use. So you want to avoid really biased news sites as well. So like Fox News, CNN, Huffington Post, usually the New York Post, the Atlantic, and a few others are really good news sources. Most of your sources will come from the Opposing Viewpoints and Context website. All of those sources are considered good sources. So what about Wikipedia and other wikis? A wiki means that anybody can edit that information, which makes them really unreliable. But they do require authors to put in sources for where they got their information. So scroll down to the bottom. If you click on a Wikipedia article, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a list of sources that have been hyperlinked. So you might be able to find some good sources by looking through their sources. So what about books, movies, videos, pictures? You can use books, movies, videos as sources for your paper. You can also put pictures in your paper. You just have to make sure you cite them correctly in the works cited page. And speaking of citing, works cited pages can be tricky when you have multiple sources. The good news is that most of the library's databases cite their sources for you. If you just, let me go to this website. Oh, no, this is the how-to. Let me go to this website and I'll show you where you can kind of find the information and how it cites them. So, let's say we're talking about Mexico and we're going to use, oh, this one's good. This is from, yeah, this is good. Corporate corruption. I like it. Alright, so I'm clicking on this source and I'm reading through it and I'm taking some notes while I'm reading and skimming and all of that. And I'm like, man, this is really good. And I'm like, I want to use this. So I go down and here's my citation. Exactly how it's supposed to be done. So I just copy and paste. And I put it on my works cited page, or I put it on a little notes folder so that I have it for when I'm ready to make my works cited page. Okay, so at the bottom of most of these, they're going to be cited for you. So that's a really good thing about the databases. Now, if it's a book, movie, picture, or something else that isn't from the databases, you'll have to cite it yourself. So you can find the necessary info for citing at this website. I hyperlinked it and well, I'll put a link for it in the in here. But it's Al Purdue, and Al just stands for Online Writing Lab. It's Purdue University's Online Writing Lab. So I will hyperlink it to this page. So this is your MLA formatting and style guide. This is a way to cite your sources automatically in MLA. I haven't played with this one too much, but if you do use it, make sure to check it on this website. So this is along the left here, you'll see basic format, MLA works cited page, books, periodicals, so on and so forth. Other common sources, electronic sources. Guys, if you ask me how to cite something, I'm not going to know how to cite it off the top of my head. I'm literally going to come to this website and say, okay, they want to know how to cite a electronic source. They're talking about a video. And then I'm going to scroll down and okay, ebook, image, article in a web, online scholarly journal, which, by the way, is where most of the ProQuest stuff is going to be from. Online database, email, tweet, YouTube video. Okay, here we go. YouTube video. This is what they're wanting to cite. And so I'm going to email you back and I'm going to say, okay, go to the Al Purdue website, go to MLA Works Cited Electronic Sources, and scroll almost all the way down and you will see an explanation on how to cite a YouTube video. Because I don't know off the top of my head how to cite all of this stuff. I have to look through here just the same as you do. And then here's a sample works cited page that you can look at and see how they've set it up. See, it's got the hanging indent that we know we need. Something to keep in mind is that works cited pages are alphabetized. So you can see we got D, E, G, H, I, because Ann doesn't count, L, M, N, R, R, S, and then U. I didn't have you do it in the compare and contrast works cited page because it's just it doesn't matter. I did that one for you, but this one you do need to make sure that it is in alphabetical order. So what else do I have? Oops, wrong one. We'll get to that one in just a second. And use the tabs on the left-hand side to navigate the page. There is an example works cited page on Al Purdue. You can check that out if you want a visual. Your works cited page is set up like the previous works cited pages as a separate page on your essay with a works cited title centered and your sources left aligned with a hanging indent. Something to remember is that sources must be listed in alphabetical order. Okay, normally, if this was a normal semester, I would have your works cited page due before the rest of your paper, so you'd have to have all your research done before you even started writing. We don't have enough time to do that this semester. I'm not happy about it, but we just don't. So you're going to have to do your works cited page as you do your rough draft and turn it in with your rough draft. And guys, remember, whatever you use in your works cited page, you have to also use in the essay. So you can't just have like 2 sources on your works cited page that you don't use in the essay. You have to also use them in the essay. And remember, you also need parenthetical citations in your essay. So if we go to the Al Purdue website and we look at how she's got Dean Cornelia, executive on saving the planet, if I was going to use this, when I use this in my essay, I would say, is this an article? No, it's a New York Times thing. They're also reputable. I would say I would give my quote or my paraphrase or whatever, and then open quotation or open parentheses, Dean, close parentheses, period. So you have to do that for everything that you summarize or paraphrase or quote from these sources that you use in your works cited page, just like you did with the compare and contrast. Okay, so moving on to the outline. So, come on, there we go. So this is just a basic outline for you of how I want it set up. So your introduction is where you explicitly state your position about the topic. This is where you'll also need to talk about why your topic matters. So this is where your thesis statement is going to be. You're saying, essentially, you can't just say this. I'm talking about this. This is why it's important. And here's my argument. That's basically what the introduction is. Body paragraphs, you need at least 3 body paragraphs. Each body paragraph should cover 1 point about your topic and have evidence to support your topic. Everything in the body needs to come back to the thesis. That's what a lot of people struggle with on your compare and contrast. Everything that you talk about in your body paragraphs needs to come back to supporting your thesis statement. In the conclusion, summarize your argument and restate why this is important. So this is a really easy way that you can look and see that the way that I want it set up. So this week you're just you're going to do some research. You're going to start writing your rough draft, and again, it's due by Friday along with your journal. So make sure you get that done. I think that's everything. If you have questions, of course, you can email me. I'm always available via email. Text me, call me. I've sent out my phone number and all of that information. If you don't have that, my phone number is again 501-690-6032. So if you need me, you can call me, text me, tell me who you are when you call or text me. If I don't answer when you call, something's going on with my phone, my voicemail box. So just if I don't answer, just send me a text and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Again, your rough draft is due by Friday along with the journal. So just let me know if you need any help. Have a good day. So you have to do it here as well.